I am Jarvis, your storyteller. Welcome to the Science Fiction Exploration. If you like the story, please subscribe to our channel.
The Echo of Lost Stars. The quantum scanner hummed softly as Vex Theron adjusted its frequency, his silvery scales reflecting the dim light of the ship's bridge. The vast emptiness of the Orion void stretched before him, a region of space where no civilized species had ventured in millennia. His vessel, the Star Weaver, drifted silently through the cosmic darkness, its sensors probing the ancient silence for echoes of a civilization lost to time. Warning, power consumption exceeding recommended parameters, announced Matrix, the ship's AI construct. Its holographic form flickered beside Vex, a cascade of geometric patterns forming a vaguely humanoid shape. Noted and ignored, Vex replied, his four-fingered hands dancing across the control panel. We're too close to give up now. The signal's getting stronger. For 3 standard cycles, Vex had chased whispers and rumors across the galaxy. As a xenoarchaeologist from the Centauri colonies, he had dedicated his life to understanding the mysterious species known as humans. They had vanished centuries ago, leaving behind a legacy of technological marvels that modern civilizations could barely comprehend. The scanner's pitch changed suddenly, its steady hum rising to a high-pitched whine. Vex's heart rate doubled as data streams flooded his screens. Matrix, analysis. Signal pattern matches known human communication protocols. Origin point, approximately 2 light-years ahead. Warning, signal contains embedded quantum signatures consistent with human defense systems. Vex leaned forward, his bioluminescent markings pulsing with excitement. Plot a course. Maximum safe speed. Calculating optimal trajectory, Matrix responded. Vex, I must remind you that entering potential human space without proper authorization violates 3 different Galactic Council directives. Then it's fortunate we're not technically in Council space, Vex grinned, revealing rows of pearlescent teeth. Besides, my research grant specifically covers high-risk exploration of pre-collapse human territories. The Star Weaver accelerated smoothly, its quantum drive humming to life. As they approached the signal source, a massive structure began to materialize on their sensors. It was unlike anything Vex had ever seen, a sprawling complex of interconnected modules and towers, suspended in space like a frozen dance of metal and light. By the first star, Vex whispered. Matrix, are you seeing this? Affirmative. Structure appears to be a human research station, approximately 3.2 kilometers in length. Current status, minimal power signatures detected. No signs of active life support systems. Vex's excitement was tempered by caution as he guided the Star Weaver closer. Human installations were notorious for their unpredictable nature. Some still maintained active defense systems, while others harbored technological plagues that had driven entire exploration teams to madness. Detecting an active docking port on the station's ventral side, Matrix announced. Warning, station's quantum field is interfering with long-range communications. We will be isolated if we proceed. When has that ever stopped us? Vex began powering up his environmental suit, checking each seal with practiced precision. Begin docking procedures. And Matrix? Upload yourself to my portable unit. I'm not leaving you behind on this one. As the Star Weaver maneuvered into position, Vex couldn't shake the feeling that this discovery would change everything. The station's design was unlike any human relic he'd studied before. It seemed newer, somehow. More purposeful. The docking clamps engaged with a metallic thunk that resonated through the ship's hull. Vex sealed his helmet, the suit's systems coming online with a soft hum. Matrix's presence settled into his neural interface, a familiar coolness at the base of his skull. Ready for this? He asked, both himself and his digital companion. Statistical analysis suggests a 67% chance of encountering lethal situations, Matrix replied. However, your previous success rate in surviving impossible scenarios currently stands at 89%. Vex laughed, the sound echoing in his helmet. "I love it when you talk numbers." He stepped into the airlock, his heart pounding with anticipation. Beyond that door lay answers to questions that had haunted him since childhood. What had happened to humanity? Why had they vanished? And most importantly, what were they preparing for? The airlock cycled, and as the door opened to reveal the station's dark interior, Vex Theron stepped forward into history. Little did he know, the ancient halls held secrets that would shake the very foundations of galactic civilization, and humanity's long silence was about to be broken. Shadows of the Ancients. The darkness of the station swallowed Vex's footsteps as he moved forward, his suit lights casting long shadows across the metal floors. The air was stale, preserved by ancient environmental systems that had somehow maintained minimal functionality for centuries. "Fascinating," Matrix's voice whispered through his neural link. "The station's quantum architecture is still partially active. These systems shouldn't be functioning after all this time." Vex's bioluminescent markings pulsed softly as he traced his hand along a wall covered in human script. "Can you translate?" "Partial translation, Project Lazarus, Level 3 clearance required." "Vex, this appears to be more than a simple research station." The corridor opened into a vast chamber filled with rows of towering machines. Their surfaces were covered in a fine layer of cosmic dust, but underneath, Vex could make out sleek designs that put modern technology to shame. His scanner beeped rapidly as it detected energy signatures that defied conventional physics. "Matrix, what are we looking at?" "Processing. These appear to be quantum computation arrays. But the complexity, it's orders of magnitude beyond anything in current use. They're still running calculations." A sudden movement caught Vex's eye. Something skittered across the floor, disappearing behind one of the machines. His hand instinctively went to the plasma defender at his hip. "Motion detected," Matrix confirmed. "Multiple signatures. The station's maintenance systems appear to be active." Small robots emerged from the shadows, their metallic bodies reflecting Vex's suit lights. They moved with an unsettling grace, scanning him with red sensor beams. Unlike the broken, malfunctioning relics he usually encountered, these machines moved with purpose. "Unauthorized biological entity detected," a synthetic voice announced, echoing through the chamber. "Initiating containment protocols." "Matrix, a little help here?" Vex backed away slowly, his heart's racing. "Attempting to interface. Warning. Their encryption is adaptive. These aren't simple maintenance drones, they're part of an active defense network." The robot suddenly surged forward. Vex fired his plasma defender, the energy bolt striking one drone and sending it spinning away in a shower of sparks. But more emerged from the shadows, their movements becoming more aggressive. The central chamber. Matrix highlighted a path on Vex's heads-up display. Strong power signatures emanating from that direction. Whatever they're protecting might be there. Vex sprinted through the maze of machines, the drones in close pursuit. His tail helped him maintain balance as he vaulted over fallen debris and slid under partially closed doorways. The station's systems seemed to be awakening around him, lights flickering to life and dormant machines humming with renewed energy. "Matrix, can you access the station's mainframe?" "Negative. But I'm detecting a distinct pattern in the defense responses. They're not trying to eliminate you, they're hurting you." "Hurting me?" Vex ducked as an energy pulse flew over his head. "Toward what?" They burst into the central chamber, and Vex stopped dead in his tracks. Before him stood a massive holographic projection of Earth, humanity's lost homeworld. But it wasn't just a static image, it was a real-time quantum transmission, showing a planet very different from the dead world recorded in historical archives. "Impossible," Matrix whispered. "According to all records, Earth was abandoned centuries ago." The drones had stopped their pursuit, forming a circle around Vex. A new voice filled the chamber, different from the mechanical tones of the defense systems. It was smooth, almost organic, with an authority that made Vex's scales ripple. "Welcome, explorer. You have been chosen." A figure materialized in front of the Earth hologram, a human figure, composed of pure light and quantum data. Its appearance shifted between male and female, young and old, as if unable to settle on a single form. "I am the Guardian," it announced. "The keeper of the Genesis Protocol. For centuries, we have waited for a species worthy of our legacy. Your persistence in reaching this station, despite the dangers, suggests potential." Vex lowered his weapon slowly, his scientific curiosity overriding his survival instincts. "What legacy? What happened to humanity?" The Guardian's form flickered. "We did not vanish, as your histories claim. We evolved. Transcended. But we left behind seeds, carefully chosen pieces of our civilization, waiting for the right moment to bloom." "Matrix," Vex subvocalized, "are you recording this?" "Every quantum byte," the AI replied. "But Vex, we may have stumbled into something far bigger than a simple archaeological discovery." The Guardian continued, its voice taking on a tone of urgency. "The Genesis Protocol was designed to prepare for humanity's return. But there are others who would use our technology for destruction. You must make a choice, Vex Theron of the Centauri colonies. Will you help us preserve humanity's legacy, or will you walk away?" Before Vex could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. The Guardian's form destabilized momentarily. "Warning, unauthorized vessels approaching. Hostile intent detected." Vex's scanner confirmed it, 3 ships had dropped out of quantum space nearby. Their energy signatures matched those of the Shadowclaw Syndicate, notorious raiders who specialized in plundering ancient technology. "Time grows short," the Guardian said. "What is your answer, explorer?" Vex looked at the hologram of Earth, then at the advanced technology surrounding him. Everything he'd searched for, every question about humanity's disappearance, was within his grasp. But accepting meant making himself a target for one of the most dangerous criminal organizations in the galaxy. His bioluminescent markings pulsed with determination as he made his decision. Some discoveries were worth any risk. "I accept," he said firmly. "Show me what I need to do." The Guardian's form stabilized, and a smile crossed its ethereal features. "Then let the protocol begin. But remember, Vex Theron, from this moment forward, you carry the weight of 2 civilizations' futures." The chamber hummed with power as ancient systems fully activated, and Vex realized his life as a simple xenoarchaeologist had just become infinitely more complicated. Keepers of the Legacy. The station shuddered as the first impacts from the Shadowclaw ships struck its outer shields. Vex watched as the Guardian's form shifted rapidly, its quantum matrix processing countless calculations per second. "The protocol must be protected," it announced. "Follow the path. Time is against us." A series of lights illuminated along the floor, leading deeper into the station's core. The maintenance drones that had previously chased Vex now formed a protective escort around him. "Matrix, what's our status?" Vex asked, running alongside the drones. "Station shields at 82% and falling. 3 Shadowclaw vessels confirmed. Their energy signatures suggest heavy weaponry." "Vex, they came prepared for this." The Guardian's voice echoed through the corridors. "They have been watching, waiting for someone to discover this facility. Your arrival was anticipated." Vex's scales bristled. "You knew they were coming. This was a test." "Everything is a test, Vex Theron. Humanity's legacy cannot be entrusted to the unprepared." They reached a massive vault door that began opening as they approached. Inside, Vex froze at the sight before him. Hundreds of stasis pods lined the walls, each containing a sleeping human form. "Survivors," he whispered, his scanner confirming vital signs. "But how?" "Not survivors," the Guardian corrected. "Seeds. Genetically engineered humans, designed to adapt to the changes in Earth's biosphere. They await the signal to awaken. Another explosion rocked the station. Matrix's voice carried urgency. Shield integrity dropping. They're targeting specific systems, they know the station's layout. Vex approached one of the stasis pods, studying the peaceful face within. Why show me this? Why trust me? The Guardian's form materialized beside him. Because you seek understanding, not power. The Shadowclaw Syndicate would use this technology to dominate. You seek to preserve and learn. A new alarm blared through the chamber. Matrix's voice was tense. Multiple hull breaches detected. They're boarding the station. The Guardian gestured to a central console. The Genesis protocol contains more than just sleeping humans. It holds the key to humanity's evolution, the ability to transcend physical form itself. This is what the Shadowclaw truly seeks. Vex's hands flew over the console as data streamed into his neural interface. The information was overwhelming, centuries of human scientific advancement compressed into quantum-encrypted packets. Matrix, help me process this, he gasped, his bioluminescent markings pulsing rapidly with the data influx. Processing. Vex, this is extraordinary. The humans didn't just disappear, they found a way to exist as pure energy, as consciousness without form. The sound of plasma fire echoed from nearby corridors. The maintenance drones took up defensive positions around the vault entrance. You must make a choice, the Guardian said. The protocol can be transferred to your ship, but doing so will alert every power in the galaxy to its existence. Or you can help us activate the emergency protocols, wake the sleepers and begin the process ahead of schedule. Vex's mind raced. If we wake them now, they'll be vulnerable. The Shadowclaw will capture them, use them to unlock humanity's secrets. Then what do you propose? A plan formed in Vex's mind. Matrix, can you interface with the station's quantum core? Yes, but it would require, I see where you're going with this. It's extremely risky. When has that stopped us? Vex turned to the Guardian. We'll transfer a fragment of the protocol, enough to make the Shadowclaw think they've won. But the real data, the sleepers, everything else. We hide it in plain sight. The Guardian's form flickered with interest. Explain. Matrix can encode the station's quantum signature to match background radiation. To any scanner, it'll look like empty space. The Shadowclaw get their prize, but it's just enough to keep them searching in the wrong direction. They're almost here, Matrix warned. Whatever we're doing, it needs to happen now. The Guardian considered for a moment, then nodded. Proceed. But remember, once this path is chosen, there is no turning back. You will become a keeper of humanity's greatest secret. Vex's markings pulsed with determination as his fingers flew across the console. Matrix, begin quantum signature manipulation. Guardian, I need the protocol's base code, just enough to make it convincing. The chamber hummed with power as their plan took shape. Through his neural link, Vex could feel Matrix working at unprecedented speeds, rewriting the station's quantum framework. The stasis pods dimmed one by one, appearing inactive while maintaining their precious cargo in a deeper hibernation. The sound of battle grew closer. The maintenance drones engaged the first wave of Shadowclaw troops, their ancient weapons proving surprisingly effective against modern armor. Transfer complete, Matrix announced. Station quantum signature successfully masked. To all external scans, this sector of space will appear empty. The Guardian's form began to fade. The deception is set. But remember, Vex Theron, you now carry a responsibility greater than any archaeological discovery. The true protocol, the key to humanity's return, is now linked to your ship's quantum core. Guard it well. Vex unholstered his plasma defender as the vault door began to spark with cutting tools. Don't worry about me. Just make sure those sleepers stay safe until it's time. Time for what? Matrix asked. Vex grinned, his scales glowing with anticipation. Time to rewrite history. But first, we need to give our friends out there a proper welcome. The vault door burst open in a shower of sparks, and the real battle for humanity's legacy began. The price of knowledge. Plasma fire lit up the vault entrance as Shadowclaw troops poured through the breach. Vex took cover behind a stasis pod, his scales shifting color to blend with the shadows. The maintenance drones formed a defensive line, their ancient weapons leaving trails of quantum disruption in the air. Matrix, how long until the transfer is complete? Vex whispered, returning fire with precise shots from his defender. 87 seconds remaining. But Vex, we have another problem. One of the Shadowclaw signatures matches known Centauri energy patterns. Vex's heart sank. Someone from the colonies is working with them? Worse. The signature belongs to Director Krell. The name hit Vex like a physical blow. Krell had been his mentor at the Xenoarchaeological Institute, the one who had approved his research grants and encouraged his pursuit of human artifacts. Now it all made sense, the convenient leads, the classified information that had led him to this station. He used me, Vex snarled, his markings pulsing with anger. All those years, he was just waiting for someone to find this place. A new voice boomed through the chamber, smooth and cultured. Now, my dear Vex. Used is such a harsh word. I prefer to think of it as investing in talent. Director Krell stepped through the smoke, his elegant Centauri robes incongruous among the heavily armed Shadowclaw troops. His own scales were deep crimson, marked with the gold patterns of high academic status. I must say, you've exceeded all expectations, Krell continued, spreading his arms wide. Finding not just any human facility, but the Genesis protocol itself. I'm actually quite proud. Vex emerged from cover, keeping his defender trained on his former mentor. The protocol is gone, Krell. We destroyed it rather than let it fall into your hands. Krell's smile didn't waver. Come now, you were my best student. You'd never destroy knowledge, no matter the cost. No, I suspect you've done something far more interesting. More Shadowclaw troops filed in, taking up positions around the chamber. Among them was a tall figure in advanced battle armor, its helmet featuring multiple sensor arrays. Allow me to introduce Nexus, Krell gestured to the armored figure. The Shadowclaw's finest data extractor. Whatever clever trick you've played with the protocol, they'll find it. Matrix's voice whispered in Vex's mind. Transfer complete. But they've locked down all escape routes. The Starweaver's quantum core is secure, but we're trapped. Vex's mind raced. The fake protocol data they'd prepared would only fool them for so long. Once they realized it was a decoy, they'd tear the station apart looking for the truth. Why, Krell? He asked, buying time as he assessed his options. What could the Shadowclaw possibly offer that's worth betraying everything we stand for? Everything we stand for. Krell laughed. We're archaeologists, Vex. We dig up the past. But the Genesis protocol, it's the future. Humanity found a way to transcend physical form itself. Imagine what that knowledge could do for our people. Our people. Or just you. Krell's smile turned cold. The Centauri colonies have grown stagnant. We need this. The Shadowclaw understands ambition, they'll help us claim our rightful place in the galaxy. They'll use you and discard you, Vex countered. Just like you used me. The armored figure, Nexus, stepped forward. Its voice was a synthetic growl. Enough talk. The protocol. Now. Vex felt Matrix tense in his neural link. The AI had detected something, a fluctuation in the station's power grid. The Guardian's influence was still present, working in the background. You want the protocol? Vex markings began to pulse in a complex pattern. Come and get it. He fired at the ceiling, not at the troops. The plasma bolt struck a power conduit, triggering a cascade of emergency systems. The stasis pods began to sink into the floor, protected by quantum shields. Stop him! Krell shouted, but it was too late. The maintenance drones surged forward, sacrificing themselves to buy time. Nexus raised its arm, revealing a built-in quantum disruptor, but Vex was already moving. Matrix, execute Protocol Omega. The AI's presence flooded through his neural link, connecting with the station's systems. Emergency bulkheads slammed down, separating the vault into sections. Vex dove through the last gap as it closed, leaving Krell and the Shadowclaw forces trapped with their prize, a decoy. Run all you want, Krell's voice came through the comm system. You've only delayed the inevitable. The protocol will be ours. Vex sprinted through darkened corridors, following Matrix's guidance. What about the Starweaver? We can't leave without it. The Guardian's systems are responding to my commands, Matrix replied. I'm rerouting power to the emergency transport system. It's risky, but... do it. Energy crackled around Vex as the station's quantum transport grid activated. He felt his body dissolving, transforming into pure data for a split second before reforming on the Starweaver's bridge. Get us out of here, he gasped, falling into the captain's chair. The ship's engines roared to life, breaking away from the station. Behind them, the Shadowclaw vessels opened fire, but the Starweaver's enhanced quantum drive was already spooling up. They're pursuing, Matrix reported. But the station's defenses are activating. The Guardian is buying us time. Vex watched on the viewscreen as ancient weapon systems emerged from the station's hull, engaging the Shadowclaw ships. Krell and his allies would survive, they had the decoy protocol to keep them occupied. But the real prize, the true secret of humanity's legacy, was safely hidden in the Starweaver's quantum core. Set course for the outer colonies, Vex ordered. We need to disappear for a while, figure out our next move. And the protocol? Vex markings pulsed softly as he stared into the star-filled void. We protect it. Study it. And when the time is right. He smiled. We help humanity make one hell of a comeback. The Starweaver vanished into quantum space, leaving behind a station full of secrets and a galaxy that was about to remember why humans had been both feared and revered. But as they fled, a small data packet uploaded itself to the ship's systems, a final message from the Guardian: the game has begun. Choose your allies wisely, for the greatest test still awaits. Dawn of reunion. 3 weeks of quantum jumps had taken the Starweaver to the edges of known space. Vex stood at the bridge viewport, his scales dim with exhaustion as he studied the swirling nebula before them. According to the protocol's data, somewhere in this cosmic storm lay the coordinates of humanity's final sanctuary. Status report, Matrix. No pursuit detected, the AI responded. However, the quantum core is showing unusual activity. The protocol data is evolving. Vex turned to the holographic display where streams of data flowed like liquid light. Evolving how? It appears to be adapting to our presence, integrating with our systems. Vex, I believe it's trying to communicate. The display flickered, and a familiar ethereal form took shape, the Guardian, but different now, more focused, more present. You've done well, reaching this far, it said. But now comes the moment of truth. Vex crossed his arms. You knew about Krell, about the Shadowclaw. This was all part of your test. Humanity's legacy cannot be entrusted to anyone who cannot handle betrayal, deception, and difficult choices. You've proven your worth, but the real challenge lies ahead. The nebula suddenly pulsed with energy, its colors shifting in impossible ways. Matrix's presence in Vex's neural link sparked with alarm. Massive quantum signatures detected. The nebula, it's not natural. It's a cloaking field. The cosmic storm began to part like a curtain, revealing what lay behind. Vex's heart nearly stopped at the sight. A vast structure hung in space, dwarfing anything he'd ever seen. It was a station, no, a city, built in geometric patterns that seemed to defy physics itself. "Welcome," the Guardian said, "to Haven. Humanity's bridge between flesh and energy, past and future." Suddenly, multiple quantum signatures burst into existence around them. Ships of various designs dropped out of quantum space, Centauri warships, Shadowclaw vessels, and others Vex didn't recognize. "Your pursuit was anticipated," the Guardian explained. "All the major powers of the galaxy, drawn here by the protocol's breadcrumbs. Now they will witness the return." Krell's voice crackled over the calm, magnificent. "You've led us right to it, Vex. I knew you wouldn't disappoint." "You still don't understand, do you?" Vex replied. "This isn't about finding some technological advantage. It's about something bigger." The space around Haven began to shimmer with energy. Points of light appeared, coalescing into humanoid forms. They were energy beings, humans who had transcended physical form, returning to witness this moment. Matrix's voice was filled with awe. "The quantum readings, they're not just energy patterns. They're conscious beings, thousands of them." The Guardian's form grew brighter. "For centuries, humanity has watched, waiting for the galaxy to produce species worthy of partnership. The protocol was more than a test, it was an invitation." Weapons powered up across the assembled fleet. Krell's voice carried a note of desperation. "We won't be denied this power. If we have to take it by force." "That's exactly why you'll never have it," Vex interrupted. His markings began to pulse in sync with Haven's energy patterns. "Matrix, initiate the final sequence." The quantum core of the Star Weaver pulsed with power. The protocol data they'd carried wasn't just information, it was a key, transforming their ship into a conduit between dimensions. The human energy beings moved closer, their light touching each ship in the standoff. Images flooded through every vessel's communication systems, visions of humanity's journey, their struggles, their evolution, and their hope for the future. "We offer you a choice," the Guardian announced to all. "Continue down the path of conflict, or join us in something greater." Humanity didn't disappear to hide, but to prepare. The galaxy faces challenges beyond your imagining, and only together can we hope to face them. Vex watched as the energy beings demonstrated their power, not through weapons, but through creation. Defunct systems across every ship sprang to life, upgraded by technology centuries ahead of anything known. "This is what humanity achieved," Vex broadcasted to the fleet. "Not through conquest, but through evolution and understanding." The protocol wasn't a weapon, it was an olive branch. One by one, the ships powered down their weapons. Even the Shadowclaw vessels, faced with power beyond their comprehension, stood down. Krell's voice, when it came again, was humbled. "All this time, we were asking the wrong questions." The Guardian turned to Vex. "You understand now why you were chosen? Not for your ability to find us, but for your ability to understand." Vex nodded, watching as Haven's gates began to open. The greatest discoveries aren't things to be owned, but truths to be shared. The energy beings began to interact with the assembled ships, sharing knowledge, offering guidance. This wasn't an ending, but a beginning, the dawn of a new age of collaboration between the physical and the transcendent. Matrix's presence rippled with excitement. "The quantum core is receiving new data. Vex, it's incredible. They're sharing their history, their science, their art, everything." "Not everything," the Guardian corrected. "Just enough to start you on the path. The rest, you'll discover together." As Haven's light bathed the assembled fleet, Vex realized that his life as a xenoarchaeologist hadn't ended, it had evolved into something far greater. He wasn't just studying history anymore, he was helping write it. "So," he asked the Guardian, what happens now? The ethereal being smiled. Now, Vex Theron, you help us bridge 2 ages of the galaxy. The humans are returning, not as conquerors or saviors, but as partners. And you will be the first of many to help guide this transition. The Starweaver's systems hummed with new power as the quantum core integrated the gifts of human technology. Around them, the assembled fleet began to organize itself, former enemies turning into reluctant allies in the face of this paradigm shift. Vex markings pulsed with renewed purpose. The greatest archaeological discovery in history had turned into something far more significant, a chance to shape the future itself. Matrix, he said, setting in new coordinates, let's make history. The stars beckoned, not with the mystery of the past, but with the promise of tomorrow. Humanity had returned, and the galaxy would never be the same.